Donyell Malen running down the wing. He's at number 17. When he scores, he makes the Villa sing. Donyell Malen down the wing. Come on, get in there. Brighton 0, Aston Villa 3. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, get involved in the comments. Your thoughts on today's fantastic victory. Another clean sheet as well. A solid professional performance with goals from Marcus Rashford, Marco Asensio, and Donyell Malen getting off the mark for Aston Villa. A fantastic performance. And look, we know now we have the options on the bench. We have that tightness in defence now. We have that structure, we have that shape, and we have that solid foundation to build from. And that's exactly what this performance was. Dig in the first half, work hard, get a goal on the break, and then continually just break them down, frustrate them, and then the holes will come, the spaces will come, and we've got the players to exploit. Absolutely fantastic victory. We started off with the team, Emi Martinez in goal, Matty Cash right back, Ezri Konsa and Pau Torres coming into the central defensive positions, Luka Dean at left back, then we had Kamara and Yuri Tielemans as usual as that central midfield duo with John McGinn in front of them, and Morgan Rogers on the right, Jacob Ramsey operating in off the left, and Marcus Rashford up top. And to be honest with you, the first half, there wasn't a great deal that happened. Both teams were keeping possession, a bit like a game of chess. Coaches trying to get the little advantage, get the little overloads in the midfield. Matoma was the main threat for Brighton. They were trying to put him in behind Matty Cash or the diagonal ball over the top. But they didn't really have too much in terms of chances or really anything in terms of 1v1-on-1s, a couple of flashed crosses, one that went into Emi Martinez's arms. Ezri Konsa had a decent header that the keeper spilled and Marcus Rashford almost got on the end of. And then we had a great longer ball from the defence. I can't quite remember who it was that played the 60, 70-yard pass. You might be able to let me know in the comments. But Rashford got on the run. It might have been Kamara, actually. Got on the run, brought the ball down beautifully on just the left-hand side of the left-hand channel, and then beat his man, cut inside onto his right foot, but just couldn't quite get the bend on the shot. And that was probably the best chance of the first half in terms of a shooting opportunity. But the main drama of that first half was Aston Villa should have had a clear penalty. How the referee hasn't given this, I will never know. I'm absolutely speechless that it wasn't given as a penalty. Jacob Ramsey gets the ball on the left-hand side again, runs into the box, does a couple of step-overs, takes Hinshelwood one side, cuts back the other side. Hinshelwood puts his leg in, trips Jacob Ramsey over, and the ball goes out for a goal kick. Referee doesn't give it. VAR look at it for about 2 or 3 minutes, and they decide that there isn't enough of a foul to warrant the referee looking at the screen. Absolute joke of a decision. Unreal decision. I can't believe it. And then actually Brighton did have probably the best chance of that first half, because they then had a free kick and the player hits the shot. Ajari hits the shot, comes off the inside of the post, bounces out, and it does hit Jacob Ramsey on the arm, but his arm's down by his side and it bounces down and we managed to get it clear. But really, that was it for the first half. And we've seen this with Villa. You know, we started the half quite well, but then we settled it down, kept possession, ball going, like I said, a bit of a game of chess. But because we were passing the ball across the back, because we looked quite comfortable, Brighton put a lot of effort into that first half. And we saw that against Preston. We've seen that again in other games. And we know those spaces are going to open up. We didn't make any changes at half time. Brighton came out with a bit more intent in that second half, but it was Aston Villa that took the lead. And it was Morgan Rogers who started it off. And he'd been really frustrated figure all game, to be honest. Couldn't quite get anything going on that right-hand side. was giving the ball away, overran it just before when he could have gone through and put a foul in on Van Heck. But it was a Brighton corner that was overhit by Estepinian, and we cleared it, and it bounced down for Morgan Rogers, and he sees Rashford running from inside his own half, picks him out with a beautiful pass with his left foot. Rashford does really well to stay on side because as Rogers hits the pass, he's inside his own half. He runs onto it, takes a touch, brings it down under control, and then hits a nice bounced finish. He bounces it into the ground, and it bounces over Verbruggen's hands and into the net. And that was a fantastic goal for his first Premier League goal for Aston Villa. Limbs in the away end. And yes, slightly against the run of play, but we knew we had that threat. We had it in the first half with Rashford, and this time he made no mistake. And then we know we've got the substitutions to bring on. We know we can make the changes. And Brighton tried to put a bit more on us, had a few threatening periods down in the box, and they did actually thought they scored the equalising goal. And it was Gruder that clipped the ball over the top to Mitoma. He seems like he brings it down, goes across the goal. Emi Martinez gets in a right mess with Pau Torres. He palms it out when he should have claimed it, and Adingra puts the ball in the net. But thankfully, referee and VAR this time spotted a handball from Mitoma, and it was a clear handball, hit him around here on sort of the elbow area, and rightfully it was ruled out. And then we made the changes. Asensio comes on, Onana comes on, and who else is it that comes on? I can't think right now. And Watkins comes on, triple substitution, and it was Marco Asensio, that man who gets the clinching goal and a lovely, lovely, lovely finish. And again, as I said, Brighton put a lot into it. They push a lot of players forward. And if we knew that if we could win the ball and get the ball up the pitch quickly, a couple of little passes, ball goes to Morgan Rogers on that right-hand side. He attacks the box, runs to the box. Watkins makes a great run in front of the defender, and Asensio, seeing that Watkins does that, holds back. Rogers spots him, plays the ball across the box, and a brilliant finish from Marco Asensio into that bottom corner. And Ollie Watkins does really well to jump out the way of it. And thankfully, it wasn't given a foul as Watkins was running with the defender, and they both kind of fell over. And thankfully, Van Heck was coming round, so he wasn't offside as the ball was struck as well. But yeah, that sealed the victory, 2-0. And we knew we were home and hosed, and then we were kind of wasting time and made a couple more substitutions. Disasi came on. Brighton tried to change it with a quadruple substitution, but nothing really happened for them. One threatening cross from Estepinian that it was meant as a cross, but it actually almost fooled Martinez. It went over him, but he manages to claw it down, and then we managed to clear it. Oh, it went over the bar, but nothing really. Lots of threatening pressure, lots of probing from Brighton, but nothing in terms of clear-cut chances. And I mean, the commentators on how I was watching it, you would have thought that Brighton were winning 2-0 and they were the team that they wanted to keep scoring, and Aston Villa were just there to make up the numbers, yet we were the ones that were 2-0 up. It was bizarre commentary, if I'm being honest. And then all of a sudden it flipped to professional performance from Aston Villa, controlled, well defended, and then we actually then put the icing on the cake with getting the third goal. McGinn wins the ball in midfield really well, carries on running with the ball, plays it into Marco Asensio. Donyell Malen's on that right-hand side. He plays it to Malen, and it's 90 plus 10 minutes. It was 10 minutes added on from injury time. And he just thinks, you know what, I'm just going to hit it, and arrows the shot into the bottom right-hand corner. Fantastic goal. And the away crowd goes wild, and we've won 3-0, and it's a fantastic victory. And I think shout outs in a number of performances. I think the defensively we were excellent. Pau Torres coming back in after a long time out, and he was really good. Ezri Konsa, as we know, was excellent as the game went on, really grew into the game. Emi Martinez assured in goal, coming for crosses, talking, on his toes, and these usual kind of time-wasting antics and just frustrating and really good. And in terms of the fullbacks, yes, Matty Cash got caught out a couple of times, but in general, we know how threatening Mitoma is. We know how threatening Adingra is. And Digne and Cash did really well, to be honest with you, to stem the tide and to keep them limited to crosses and limited to what they could do. Tielemans obviously worked hard. He came off, and Amadou Onana was excellent when he came on, was really, really, really good when he came on. I was really impressed with him. Rashford obviously gets his goal, always a threat, a little bit quiet, maybe a bit tired as well, but he was always a threat. But I think Boubacar Kamara, for me, again, the guy just oozes class. Absolutely phenomenal footballer. Takes the ball under pressure, wins the ball back, covers in for Cash. He was covering on Matoma. He was covering on Adingra, all over the pitch. Absolutely, absolutely fantastic. I thought McGinn was good as well. At times he had to work hard, and sometimes the ball didn't come to him, but he kept us organised, he kept us going, and he kept pressing them higher up the pitch as well. But yeah, for me, Boubacar Kamara, man of the match. But real shout outs as well to Konsa and Torres, and probably McGinn as well, who I thought was solid throughout the game. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. But I'm just absolutely buzzing about that. We go into 7th position in the league. We can now take that game into Nottingham Forest on Saturday, knowing that we have so many options. You look at that bench, and we didn't have Bailey on there. We didn't have Barkley on the bench either. We've got so many options to bring in, and players now know that they have to perform to keep in this side, and they know that they're also going to get opportunities to perform. Amadou Onana came on and was brilliant today. So could he start on Saturday and do something? Could we afford to give Yuri Tielemans a rest? Or you can at least afford to tell him, you put everything into that 60 minutes, and then we know we've got players to come on and do something. Asensio was excellent again when he comes on. He's just the icing on the cake. He is the player that you bring on with half an hour to go. When those spaces open up, he can score, he can assist. Just an impact player, the definition of an impact player. Marcus Rashford is now off the mark in the Premier League and looks a threat, whether that's on the left-hand side, whether that's up front, getting in behind. Donyell Malen came on for 10 minutes and scores his goal. Fantastic for him. He's been frustrated. He's not in the Champions League squad, but he is making an impact now on the pitch for Aston Villa. And look, I am so excited about the rest of the season. I don't know about you guys, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Beat Forest on Saturday takes us right into the reckoning for that extra Champions League spot and gives us the perfect confidence boost for going into PSG next week. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's just bask in the glory of a fantastic performance tonight, a fantastic victory, and another clean sheet. I think it's 1 goal conceded in 6 games. We are now on a great run of form, and we've got to keep that going. As I say, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm buzzing. We'll be back with Talking Tactics, definitely with Gareth. Match preview for Nottingham Forest coming, and obviously, hopefully, a positive match reaction on that Forest game as well. And you never know, we might even do a bit more of a Lions Roar full match reaction with the boys as well, because I'm just so buzzing about that victory. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Help us on the road to 6K. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on today's performance. Absolutely brilliant. I'm buzzing. Thank you all for watching. And as always, remember, we'll follow the Villa.